Okay, let's hand back out then to the men's 110-metre hurdles semi-finals.
Thank you. Yes, the second of the three semi-finals, Stepan Stepko, the Czech champion, just 22 years old. On the inside, considerably older, turned 34 yesterday, Damian Shakir. Fourth in the European Championships in 2016, 2018, fourth at the World Championships in Eugene 4 years ago. Elie Bakary, the Belgian champion, a former decathlete. Jason Joseph, one of the contenders perhaps for the medals, bronze at the last European Championships in Rome. And Enrique Lopez was a silver medalist at the last European Championships, behind Lorenzo Simonelli, incidentally, the Italian injured, so unable to defend his title. Thomas Wilkes, a non-French name for the man who was third at the French Championships, behind Jus Kouamati and Theo Pedra, who goes in the next semi-final. Joas van Helmont of the Netherlands, youngest in the lineup at 21, and Elmo Laka, who has just won his 11th Finnish title. Two to go through automatically, and then there are two fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Zeno van Negen of Belgium and Asie Martinez are those there. You can see their times, 13:41, 13:45. So Stefko, Chikir, the Polish veteran, Bakary of Belgium, Joseph of Switzerland, look out for him, so too Lopez of Spain, then Wilkes of France, Van Helmont of the Netherlands, and Laka of Finland. And Joseph out pretty quickly alongside Bakary. But it is in fact Bakary who's going best of all at the moment, and Joseph trying to keep pace with him. Lopez under a bit of pressure, and down goes Bakary, and Joseph will come through instead, and also going well. Thomas Wilkes of France, they're the two who go through, but the hurdles, Elie Bakary, they all know the dangers and what can happen if you get it slightly wrong. You can pay the biggest of prices, and Elie Bakary was in prime position there. Joseph profits instead, coming through to take it, and Wilkes profited even more, coming through to take second place. 13:38, 13:40, 13:47 for Lopez will not be quick enough. That'll be behind Van Negen and Asie Martinez, his fellow countryman. But there's so often drama in the hurdles, and from riding the high, Elie Bakary suddenly at the lowest of the lowest column.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed for the young man. He's had a good indoor season. He's an athlete who's growing in both confidence and in skill in high hurdles. So for him to actually be under this type of pressure and make that mistake, he got out so well. And he loves competing. That's one of the big things about one of the things I love about Elie. And he's so far ahead there. And all he needs to do is not stress, not strain. He's coming to the end of the race and he can see the finishing line. And he's taking himself there a little bit too early. And that actually affect his fall, affect Jason's performance as well. Jason Joseph, watch there, you can see Jason's like, whoopa! And then he has to recover by jumping over the next hurdle and try to establish a rhythm again. Lucky enough for him, he's good enough to do that. So he's a good 5 or 6 hundredths he'd have lost just on this end. But Bakary here, he's a little bit too close, his hips are a little bit too low, and he doesn't lift that lead leg, and he crashes to the floor. Jason, now watch him just pop up as a recovery. He's way over that hurdle just to recover. Then you land so heavily, and to try and get back in the rhythm, he's done very well to do that.
That head-on shot of Bakary going down, but then his reaction is anger, his frustration. Joseph, great reactions, as you said, from Jason Joseph. That head-on shot was the hurdles in a nutshell. And then Van Negen watching his fellow countryman going down, and Lopez misses out. Asie Martinez through at the moment
to come into the semi-final, so good for him. Bahinsky of Ukraine, 22-year-old, new personal best this year. We'll have to go some to get in the mix, but as we've just seen, anything can happen. Fabio Kuchler, the Swiss number 2 behind Joseph. His personal best set earlier this year, in fact we're all the way back in May. Now Szymański, the world indoor champion, European indoor champion last year, 13:29 this year, is going to be right in the mix. But what about this young man? France just keep producing all of these wonderful high hurdlers, and Pedre has stepped up in the absence of one or two of the other bigger names. Then the brilliantly named Enzo Diesel from Austria, Argentinian born. And Sam Bennett, the new British champion, having the season of his life. Enjoying the support here. Sam with a big opportunity. He really will have to produce his best race of his life to get through. Then Van der Schaaf of the Netherlands. Kusiniemi of the aforementioned Finnish contingent on the near side here. So the top two go through, and if you're not going to make it through in the top two, then you need to be running 13:45 or quicker. Van Meegen still with Martinez in the hot seat since they have been since he won. Nice conditions this evening, well, certainly warm. Diesel in the middle, but Szymański, Pedre, interested to see how he goes, and can Sam Bennett hang on to them here? Szymański just rocking a little bit still. Pedre really high in his blocks, isn't he? And he gets out nicely, though. We've already lost Bahinsky on the right on the inside, but Szymański is going away. Sam Bennett's in a good race here for second. If he keeps this going, he might just be in it. He's flying through. Sam Bennett almost wins it. 13:26 could be a personal best for the British athlete. Excellent performance, keeps improving all the time, learning all of the time. What a season he's having. This is one of the gold medal favourites in a race which it's hard to say a favourite. Certainly he's one of those that would be considered to have a great chance. Sam Bennett was right there with him. 13:26 is a season's best for Szymański, and now the others are looking, because it was very, very tight, wasn't it, to third and fourth in that 13:26 new personal best for Sam Bennett. Congratulations to him. And then we'll wait for the split on this photo finish for Diesel and Pedre. That puts Sam Bennett a little further up the British all-time list, only by one, goes ahead of John Richard. Colin,
do you think John will be happy with that? I know Sam will be, that's for sure. Szymański, of course, we know him from the World Indoor Championships, very explosive under that 7:40 mark indoors, and he's found it sometimes quite difficult to translate that out to the outdoor season, but he's managed to do that here at these championships. But Sam's just run the race of his life, obviously, personal best. But what I loved about that is that all the action is around him, but he kept his own timing, his own rhythm. He didn't stress, he didn't drag himself into a race. He just kept the formula going, which has been a very successful one this year.
You know, Sam's had lots of injury problems. When he was in America, he was there for 4 or 5 years. He didn't really advance. He was injured a lot. He's been home for the last couple of years, and he said, I don't train very hard. I think what he means by that is I don't train a lot in order that he can be healthy. And he's having a healthy year. And he says that it's more about kind of, when I do train it, I try and make it intense, and then, you know, keep fit, keep healthy, and he's reaping the benefits of that.
It is definitely showing that. The right kind of attitude in the right environment does make a difference. And just train smart. As you're getting older, you realise what your body's capable of, and just do what is necessary. And obviously, it is working for him. 13:26 is a very solid performance.
Well, an incredible race there, running a personal best. Sam Bennett making his way into that final, which is 9:45, the last event on the track tonight. And as we always say, anything can happen in a hurdles final.
Really tight top two, and the two fastest non-automatic qualifiers from the 3 races. It is very warm this evening, I'm sure where you are. Most people are experiencing the same. It's muggy. The wind has disappeared. So let's just see how fast the guys can go. We haven't really had an evening where we've had completely still conditions. It feels like that tonight. And 2 or 3 of the big contenders, 2 or 3 very experienced guys in this. So Kolomaznik will be in lane 2 from Czechia. The 20-year-old from Belgium really improving quickly, Hasn't raced much though since indoors, but he's 13.54 looked impressive enough. Van Negen in qualifying for this. Martinez had a bit of a difficult period at his very best, one of the best in Europe, but not sure what we're going to see from the Spaniard. He did run well at the beginning of the season, not been good since then. Mattei is the best of the French. There is no Pelotian, there is no Sasha Zoya here, so he is their main hope. Says he gave up his indoor season to get ready for this. Then we've got Matthew Sofia, big talent for the Netherlands, improving all of the time. And then you go the other end of the scale, and the experience of Trajkovic of Cyprus finally managed to pick up a medal at the Commonwealth Games. He's waited so long for an outdoor medal. And then Ajora will be in lane 8, 5th in that Commonwealth Games final. Might have been a little disappointed to do that. Was an opportunity perhaps to steal a medal. And then David from Slovak Republic in lane 9. So a lot of them very evenly matched here. You would expect the Frenchman, I know he expects himself, he said, I've come here for gold. France expects him the high hurdles. And his main rivals might have been from his own country, but there's others who are improving, getting quicker. And the consistency, I don't think has been there for any of them. Oh, that's made me feel ill, that. There we go. All the way down to the top end. So Kolomaznik, Van Negen, just watch for him, because as I said, he's the only race we've seen was in qualifying. Martinez, Mattei, Sofia, Trajkovic, Ajora and David. Top 2 to go through. Mattei gets a pretty good start, and alongside him the Dutchman Sofia's going well, but it's Mattei leading it. Trajkovic trying to get back into it. The Ajora's not too far away, but he hits that one. And now he's going to be very tight to the line. Mattei's just about going to hang on the far side. It's close between the Belgian, who continues to improve, and Trajkovic. The photo finish will have to sort that out. Ajora was right in the mix until about 5th or 6th hurdle. Winning time 13:33. I just think, Colin, this is going to be really hard to call. It is Trajkovic who's been given the nod there, and Van Negen with a personal best. Impressed with this guy. Hasn't raced all season. He had an injury apparently after the indoor season, and he's come here, and that might be good enough to get him through. I know there's another 2 races.
Yeah, I've done a bit of work with him in Belgium, so I know him pretty well. Very talented. Somebody who listens a lot and then tries to put into practice what you tell him to do. He's a bit ropey with that first hurdle, but one of the things he has got is great rhythm, the Belgian there in lane 2. So he just relies on that a little bit, clattered that barrier, but nothing too fancy in that sense. He does enough. But I'm happy that Milan's got through as well. The back end of experience, isn't it? Now the person we're looking at head on there, Martinez, I mean, I just want to say his career has been so up and down. That it's a bit frustrating because he's a quality athlete, but just there from France who takes that victory. Remember, he's one of the few Europeans that's gone under 13 seconds. Nice and controlled. He took control of that race quite early on, very confident. But one of the things I would say is that it's good to see what is happening in high hurdles, because anybody can win this, Steve.
Yeah, those 2 sitting in the seats at the moment, and I think Tadej is, well, yeah.